DJ Event Planner, Electra Voice, DJ Trivia and DJ Bingo, ProX Direct, NLFX Pro, Promo Only, Odyssey Cases, Perfect Portals, JMOZ Lighting, Instant DJ Requests, and our DJNTV Insiders. This is John Young from DJNTV. Thanks for watching.
Hello and welcome to Hanging with Howie. I have my road dog, John from Boston, and from Swingin' Temecula, California, my guy out there, James.
You realize the podcasters are going to think he's here, right? You do that pretty well. People that are listening and not watching.
Thanks, Howie.
Very good.
Always a pleasure to be with you.
Good to see you.
You know, if you set up electricity.
Howie can't be with us tonight, so I guess I'm
something.
doing this ish. That's fine. I'll do this. I got the hat on and stuff. I thought that was pretty good, though.
No, that was very good.
That's excellent. Right on.
I haven't heard you do a lot of impersonations, so
I do a lot of them. You should hear me do you.
Oh, I'm going to guess it has to do with a raspy voice.
When you're not here.
No.
You can't do it when you're here.
Hey, everybody, I'm Jay.
I just couldn't wait to call John my road dog. I was looking forward to that.
Hey, everybody, Howie. Look, it's John C., my road dog.
Road dog.
You gotta
get that T-shirt.
I'm going to get a T-shirt made. I totally have to get a T-shirt made.
I'm Howie's road dog, and then have G.
Go. So I guess we're doing a show tonight. Howie can't be with us, but he's fine, and we'll see him again soon. I don't know what the hell we're gonna talk about, guys.
I've been super busy, so I'm not as on top of topics as I could be.
Sure. No, it's cool.
Shows and this and that. So
speaking of being busy, I've been busy as well, but it's been with a lot of things. Some things related to the business, some things not. And the Marquee Show is this week in Chicago.
Yep.
I also have some personal things to do this week. I have a gig to prep for Saturday. It's not a hard gig, but it's a little long, and it's more people than I normally play for. 250 this time.
Nice. What are you going to bring for Saturday?
The reason I bring all this up is because I've been busy for a while, doing a lot of things, trying to cram a lot in, and I had a bit of a health scare on Saturday where I didn't feel right. And
you all right?
Yeah. And I'm okay. But I mean, I guess the reason I'm bringing it up, I'm not going to Marquee. It's too much because I need to take it easy. But I think we need to know when to say when.
Yep.
And I don't know that some people are doing that.
I'm not.
We're pushing ourselves so hard that we're putting ourselves at risk. Now, everyone wants to be successful. And on social media, there's no lack of people telling you how successful they are. I feel like that sometimes this might motivate us to push a little harder than we should. And I'm here to tell you from personal experience that perhaps we need to know when to throttle back.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I am the first to admit that I will take all of the work I can get my hands on when it comes up.
Yeah.
And where I'm a little bit different, maybe, and I'm just looking up at the screen, I've been doing NAMM, prep, or teardown. Today I was doing teardown. NAMM, prep, or teardown, NAMM, my own gigs, and the movement show. So since May 16th, actually May 13th, I have had a 24-hour period. I've had 4 24-hour periods that I didn't have a job to do.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, it's not as wearing as it was, say, 20 years ago. But I also know that in a week or two, I'll have downtime. So I'm not a good person to talk to about this because
You're actually the perfect person to talk to about this.
well, what I mean is by that, Brian, is like I'm a firm believer that if somebody is offering to give you work for a period of time, that you just you take it and run with it. And I agree with you.
Make hay while the sun shines, I believe is the phrase.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to lie. I only worked like 7 hours today, but that's not including the 2.5, 3 hour driving back and forth. But when I got out of the truck tonight, I will admit the feet hit the ground and it was a little like, ooh, that's a little sore. But then I look back on it and it's like, I'm working today, tomorrow, Wednesday. I'm off Thursday. Then I have a quinceanera Friday and a wedding Saturday. So then I'm off again Sunday, which is Father's Day. So that'll be fine.
Sure.
Most passed over holiday on the planet Earth.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I expect someone to mention it to me in a restaurant somewhere,
Right.
where I could spend $30 for a plate
on
of spaghetti
Facebook,
that costs
perhaps,
$1. Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah.
Hey, all the dads. Hey, dude, if I'm on Facebook on Father's Day, that's the first problem.
And the moms went in on it too, because
Well, he wouldn't be a dad without me. It's like, we know that. We know that.
Didn't you just have a day in May? Didn't we just celebrate you a month ago?
But can you imagine, by the way, side note, can you imagine on Mother's Day saying, I just want to say to my wife, you're welcome for me making you a mother? Like, that wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
No, but you know what?
Feeling the thunder.
No.
And I say this with all honesty, I enjoy working. I love putting my head down at the end of the day and looking back on it and saying, man, you really did it. You busted your ass. You did this, you did that.
I do too. And hard work is important. I think hard work is essential, and I admire it. It's something that, quite frankly, I learned from my family. My family has a very strong work ethic. I always feel like I'm not doing enough, though, because they always did different things than I do. Like my father was a very hands-on guy,
Well, they were always moving. You look back on that? Like, my dad was 9 to 5 in a bank in Boston, but like every single Saturday of my life, he's up doing something in the backyard, doing this, doing that. Yeah. We're going here, we're going there. Like there was constant motion. I always feel like I'm lazy because I'll sit in front of the TV. Like my parents would be like, and I'm sure your mom and dad did this too. And a lot of older people did this. You'd be in a conversation with them, but they'd be wiping up a counter while they were talking. Or they'd be putting something together on the side like, oh my gosh, it's so sunny out. Right. What's that? I just built a nuclear reactor. Like, what?
Like my father was never a sit down and have a beer guy.
No, there's constant motion.
He was a machinist, and then he went into management after that, after several years. And Pop working 7 days a week sometimes. And I'm not even kidding you, 18-hour days.
You ever ask him about it?
Well, it's funny you say that because, looking back at my childhood, I remember like Labor Day and trying to figure out what Labor Day meant. And it was explained to me at the time, well, this is a day of rest for all of those who work. Like, okay, how come Dad's outside with his shirt off swinging a hammer or something then? Right. How come he's not chilling out? Well, it's a day off and he wants to get something done. I never felt like I could keep up with my dad's work ethic.
No.
And when I was in the hospital, like just came out of ICU, my father looked at me and he says, Brian, you need to slow down. You work too hard. And I looked at him and I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? I could never hold a candle to you.
You worked a lot back then, Brian.
But what he said in reply to that blew my mind. He said, yeah, but I couldn't do what you do. You couldn't do what I did, but I couldn't do what you did, and you need to slow down. This is your body talking to you. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. I had just come back from Europe. You know what it is for me?
You had a stroke. Like it was.
Well, yeah. And that was kind of the scare on.
That's your body telling you it wants to leave you.
That was like, you're done, dude. Your electrical system.
Sounds like
But now,
it's been a good ride. Glad you got to see Europe.
The Saturday thing that I was referring to, I was at a cruise night. I was enjoying myself. I wasn't even working, but I had been doing activities. I was always doing an activity. And it was something I wanted to do. It was raining, and that really wasn't stressing me out because I knew my car wouldn't melt. But I'd gone inside of this restaurant where the cruise night was to get a refill on my soda. I was weaving through the crowd, and all of a sudden, I just didn't feel right. And I can't even describe the feeling to you. But I was just like, man, I need to not cause alarm for anybody, but get out of here, get in my car, and sit down and evaluate myself. And I did. And as soon as I kind of gave myself the checklist of everything that I know to be a symptom of this, the symptoms I had before, plus the other symptoms that are out there, I got home and I popped 2 aspirin immediately.
Yep. Smart.
I sat down and did nothing for 2 hours.
Very smart.
And I felt fine. Now, I apparently have been pushing myself every day, and I have. I look back.
Oh, your brother was in town. You've been busy.
Well, right. But even last week, every day I needed to do something. Somebody needed a ride somewhere, or somebody needed something from me, and I was doing something every day. And then I had a gig, and to coin a Jay phrase, to be honest, I didn't want to do this gig. It was a favor for a friend, and it was very noble of me to do it for him, but I really didn't want to do it.
But you did it 100%.
Of course I did.
Right. But my point is, like, you don't see, you, me, John, a lot of people can't turn it down when we don't want to. You're always, even when you're doing like, oh, it's a nothing gig, you're always going at 100.
It wasn't stress-free. We'll just put it that way. It wasn't hard, but it wasn't put together the way that I'm comfortable doing it.
Right.
Point being is, I know what I did. I pushed myself too hard last week.
Yep.
And Saturday was the breaking point. Now, I was doing something fun, something I wanted to do. There was no stress involved. But you know what? I woke up on Saturday. But, well, I don't have a gig. I had something cancel on me. I need to make the most of my Saturday. I can't just sit here. I know I'm tired, but I can't just sit here. I've got to go do something because this is precious time. But everything my body told me was stop.
Yeah. After feeling unwell, I think the Saturday priority would be rest.
It should have been. It should have
been. The common sense voice should have said rest.
It should have been, but I just felt so obligated because I do have next Saturday that I do work, and there's this cruise night that's only on Saturdays. Ooh, free Saturday. Better take advantage of it. I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, but don't you do what I do, and I'm sure John does. I just thought of this, the way you were talking, and it dawned on me. I'm like, I had these 4 days off. You know what? I take that back. I haven't had a day off since May 13th.
Yeah.
Because when I got back from NAMM, we finished Tuesday. I drove home Wednesday morning. I did a gig the next day for 1,000 people. Now, it was a nothing gig in the world of gigs. It was a 2 hour, some music, some microphones, some speakers.
Yeah.
But it was a high school graduation. And there was a lot riding on it. So I had to get all the gear prepped, get the certain playlist put together, do everything I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
To do those 2 hours. So even though a client says, well, you only work 2 hours. No, not really. Because when I got home at noon, I was on the phone till 4 p.m. And then I did all my music prep. And then I loaded the Jeep early so I could sleep into 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock the next morning.
Right.
Because I had to be on site at 11.
Sure.
Like, so even on our days off, I think we're still working, even though we think we're resting.
Today I had that. Today I had a client meeting. I mean, that was an hour today that I had to do that. And I had to prepare for that. And there's something I had to do earlier in the day. I had to make sure I had that done. Something I had to do. I had to make sure I had it done before this happened. And I was all prepped for it. And I've got a lot of notes. And I'm going to spend probably a good 2 hours going through those and making them perfect. fine tuning this job.
It's going to be a DJ thing that we just spend every minute awake thinking that we should be doing something. Like, this is time that's usable. We should be sorting our hard drive. We should be checking our gear. We should be looking at our. It never ends. It's a never ending cycle in this. And sometimes you just got to step back and say, no, this day is mine. It's like, I'm not even going to turn on the radio. I don't want to hear a song. I just want peace and quiet for 24 hours between, gig 1, gig 2, gig 3. And Jay, I commend you for going almost 3 weeks straight.
Well, absolutely.
Without a break. It's like, that would be the undoing of most mere mortals.
But you know what? I know you two could do it. And I think the majority of people could do it, because it's not the wear and tear as much as it's all in how you look at it. If you look at it as the moment, that's when it gets dragging. If you look at it as in a month, there's going to be a paycheck, or in a week, or in a day, or whatever, I think it makes it easier. And this is a very short story, because it's the one time in my life I remember doing this. When we moved in 2004 to Temecula, we bought the house. We were looking. Connor was a year old, year and a half. It was all these things. And, as guys that have both bought houses, there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah. Well, we bought the house after I quit my job. So there was a lot of extra work and this and that. And it's like prepping. I did
that too on my first house.
Yeah. And I remember
I lost my job before I closed on my house.
Yeah. No, I quit my job before we closed. And it became one of these, if the car breaks down and I had money hidden, and, I don't want to bore everyone with it.
Right. No.
But I remember distinctly, and I will remember this the rest of my life. I did New Year's Eve in San Diego, 2004 into 2005. We were already in the house. We got in there in November. So it's Connor, Michelle, and I. And Michelle and Connor went on a cruise with her dad out of Miami, and they left the next day. So I drove them to LAX. They flew out. I came home that night, and I remember the next day waking up, and I literally stayed in the house, and I just it all just came out. Like the stress of buying the house, where's the money coming from? Can I keep a business going? I wasn't, I just gotten with Pioneer, and I wasn't even a demo. What's the future hold? And I solved it and came to a resolution the next day by going to Las Vegas during AVN and CES just to kick it for a couple of days. And it was the greatest feeling in the world, because I was all alone. I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just relaxing. And I think sometimes it's not enough to just take a day and go, man, I got to do something today. Sometimes you just got to say, I got to get out of town for a couple of days. It'd be like John going down the Cape.
Yeah, that's important too.
Right. But it's like, I think you have to pick and choose when, because I didn't think once a way about being a DJ or gigs or what's the first dance for that girl in 2 weeks or
right.
But it's also 18 years ago. Today, I got to get up now and check my text message, my Facebook message, my Instagram message, I feel bad for younger DJs, because it's not that they can't physically do this. I think they're being barraged in so many angles. What do you guys think? It's harder for me to keep up with that aspect than it is the physical labor of it. John, how do you deal with all the avenues that people get to you on this?
It is. The hardest part initially was trying to work a 40+ hour work week and still maintain the DJ business. Like, the work was getting in the way of the DJ business.
Right.
Because in retail, you work Saturdays and Sundays, and in the DJ business, you gig Saturdays and Sundays. So one of them had to go, and I was working at a club 5 nights a week. It's like, I can't afford to stay at this job anymore because I'm making more doing this on the nights. And you can't guarantee getting out on time in that sort of market. So you have to just make the choice. You say, what would I rather be doing? What's right? Where's really the pure interest? What job doesn't feel like a job? And it's always been DJing. It's since way back. But it's the trade-off, because it's the same when you're spending time with family, having to pack up every night at 8:30, 9 o'clock, you're getting home 3 a.m. The sacrifices you have to make, you really got to put a lot of your blood and sweat into this to make it work. But to Jay's point, answering mails every day and just keeping up with the flow, I couldn't have a job now. It would be in the way of doing what I love.
Because it's not 9 to 5. It's like, I love reading these articles like, check your email a half an hour after you wait. It's like, dude, I don't have an option. Half an hour is when 3 other DJs have come in and said they're available.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be 24, even though my business on Google says 9 to 5, you got to be 24/7 in this industry. That's the stress part. The physical aspect is great.
I believe that especially you, Jay, I watch you do it all the time. You wig yourself out on stuff. I know you do. You're paying attention. You're looking in your rearview mirror all the time, worrying about what somebody else is doing. I've noticed that.
To a certain extent.
You do.
To a certain extent.
I came into the room and you were talking about another DJ who was making all this money doing this other thing. And I'm thinking, Jay's looking in his mirror again.
Well, I am, because there's a constant set of standards because our industry doesn't have them. Well, and it's like, I kind of envy the DJs that have gotten to the point of like, there's nothing else around me but me. Because I'm constantly in the lane of like, all right, how do I got to maneuver around this because of the way the market is. And you know what? John made the point about having a full-time job.
Sure.
You know, if DJ A is making $80,000 a year doing whatever, and he gigs, and DJ B is me, I only have the gigs.
Well, let me say this to you as a friend. As a friend.
Is this an intervention?
Yeah, kind of.
Are we? This is a drum circle. Is this HR?
Yeah, John's here. I'm here. We're going to get No, I not only understand exactly what you're saying, but I empathize with you. And I also heard a new way to say what you say all the time, and I like it better. And you say you're only as good as your last gig. I heard George Carlin say a little different, and I like what he said. And it's the same thing. This is not about accumulated credits. You can't just get to a point and be like, okay, I'm here. I'm not going to grow anymore if you expect not to be left behind.
No, I think it's a constant.
Yeah. So it's not a matter of accumulated credits. I've been doing this for a very long time.
Right.
But if I just decide that I don't need to grow anymore, I don't need to push anymore, I'm not going to go anywhere. I have to constantly evolve.
Oh, it's that.
And reinvent.
Yeah, it's the Nemo.
Yeah. And I may leave people behind in the process.
Yeah. No,
what I did 20 years ago, the clients may come to me and I'm out of their price range and I'm doing something different than I did 20 years ago. Hey, I'm not their DJ anymore, but I'm someone else's DJ.
But isn't there a lot of joy in that? Don't you feel a sense of like accomplishment of being? I said to someone the other night, we were talking about pretty much the same thing, and it was clients. And I said, I have 3 weddings this week, and I genuinely want the 3rd wedding to be better than the first. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, I want to be a better DJ by wedding 3, but we saw you at a wedding like a month ago and you were amazing. I'm like, well, thank you very much. But in a month, I want to be even more and more. I think if you don't plan to grow, you, like you said, you become stagnant and then eventually.
Well, I haven't even gotten to the intervention part yet, but I will say this.
Here we go. Let me take a sip then.
I was just simply agreeing with you is what I was doing. I was having empathy for you. And I will say this, and particularly with George's case, I look back on this and I see this. There's no no reward without risk. So when you are doing that next event, I think if you feel pressure to make it great, you don't want to try anything new sometimes. You get into this fear zone where, oh, what if it doesn't work?
Oh, no. I think it's constantly try something new because you've gotten that confidence of, man, I did this the other night. I'm going to do it a little better, a little better, a little better.
Yeah.
We had people at NAMM in our booth that were like flipping out on the gear, jumping up and down. And somebody looked at me and they're like, well, what's up with them? I go, they're having a good time. They're using the gear and this and that. And they go, this is crazy. I go, they're at NAMM. Yeah. You know what this is? They're hoping for that lucky break. And here's what luck is. Luck is 90% preparation, 10% opportunity. They're in the opportunity. And they've obviously done the 90%. So if someone comes up and says, man, we love your energy. We love what you're doing. We want to videotape you and put you on our channel. They're ready for that. And I think we all need to be in that position of, are you ready for the next thing? I don't say this as much as I say the last only as good as your last gig, but in the back of my mind, every event I've ever done, the concept is somewhere in the audience, and this is you'll get this. Actually, you'll both get this because you're both like musicians. This is a very band mentality. This is the show where the president of the label shows up. With me, this is the wedding or the bar mitzvah or the quinceanera or whatever, where the club owner shows up or his sister shows up or his wife or grandmother shows up and they go, we just saw this DJ you have to hire. And the call comes in and goes, yeah, you did a wedding the other night for my friend. I own a nightclub and I'm looking for a DJ Monday through Thursday for $1,000 a night. Like, that's always in the back of the head.
Now,
like,
John, do you see what he does? He knew an intervention was coming, so he did everything he could to distract me away from it because he doesn't even want to hear it.
No, that was at least 3 left turns that almost came full circle.
Yeah, he doesn't even want to hear it. And I was doing so well. I was setting it up.
Oh, you were empathy like 6 times.
So incredibly articulate and easy to understand.
I tried to be the squirrel.
And
see the squirrel?
You just wanted to like throw me off. You're like pushing me around. Come on, man. I have a hard enough time bouncing as it is after the stroke thing. But no.
Well, you've been so busy lately, like with everything you've done.
Well,
and,
right.
I'll say it for you because you would never say this, so I'll say it.
Okay.
I've seen you at shows where it's like you're day 1, day 2, day 3.
Uh-huh.
And I see what people put you through. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for the way that you can handle the stuff you handle because of everyone I know. Let me think. Nope. I've never heard you complain. Maybe once you've said, because I'll say to you in the beginning of a show or whatever's going on, hey, how's it going? Talking to a lot of people. That's the biggest complaint I've ever heard come out of your mouth. I've never heard you say.
It's a statement.
But it's a statement, but it's not a complaint. It's
even when you're busy as hell, busy as hell isn't a complaint from the client. He's just he's like, Jesus, the phone won't stop ringing.
Getting pulled in a lot of directions.
Yeah. A lot going on.
Yet you put through it. So I've always kind of felt like, why would I ever want to say like, oh, I'm exhausted, I'm tired?
Okay, I want to make
when you're doing what you're doing, and I respect you as a professional. I gotta make this
perfectly clear to you and everyone else who's watching, and anyone who may feel the way you do, because people say to me a lot, "Oh, I don't complain because I know what you go through." Hold on a second. This is not a competition.
Yeah, it is, and I'm winning.
Not. It is not a competition. Now, when it comes to your health,
no, right? It's not.
I can do things. Okay, like I'm thinking back for myself. The Welcome to Rockville gig that I did. Okay. It was a marathon. It was hard. It was 12-hour days. It was just enough time to rest. There was no time to play. I don't know what Daytona Beach, Florida looks like because I haven't seen it. I've seen a hotel. I've seen the Speedway in my little area. That's it. I didn't see the water. There wasn't time for it. There wasn't time for food. There wasn't time for a lot of things that I should have taken the time to do. But there was a beginning and an end to that. And I knew what I was in for. And I conditioned myself to jump into that, where I think that sometimes we need to be careful is, especially as, let's just say it, seasoned individuals. We're old, okay?
Elders in the business. Yeah.
We're not seeing late 20 people like us. Late 20s is my line.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. We're all in our 50s here tonight.
Yeah.
I've been late 20s since about 1989.
Yeah.
Some of us closer to 50 than others. Some of us closer to 60 than others. But we're all in our 50s here. So these are things that we need to.
So's Tiesto, by the way, just in case you kids are keeping track.
That's a conversation I'd love to have sometime about the longevity of our particular vocation, because I feel like it can be strong if you don't become a little jaded jerk about it. But
right, 100%.
Really, you're on a marathon thing right now, or you have been.
Right.
And there's that space between, right? Use that space wisely. And I don't mean try to get more stuff done in that space. I mean, relax, man.
Yeah.
That's the best we can do.
For sure.
Well,
you gotta have an acoustic day, unplug, and just
Yeah.
Take it easy.
I mean, John, you know when you've had enough, don't you?
No.
And what do you do?
I've gone drinking with John. He doesn't know.
I'm from Boston. What do you think I do?
Yeah, no, he doesn't know. Trust me.
I think the sun's coming up. I better go to bed.
We're at a dive bar at 3 a.m. Trust me, John. Like many of my compatriots from the East Coast, there is no off switch.
Personally, I've really come to appreciate distractions. Like that is a thing that has helped me along a lot. Just to take my mind off of what I'm doing, get my mind completely out of DJing for a minute, to do something else so I can come back and revisit it later with a fresh perspective.
You know what? It's funny you say that.
Yeah.
I thought the other day, is it time I said to somebody at NAM, I'm like, after this, you know what I'm doing? They're like, what? I'm like, I want to try yoga because I heard the stretching's really good and the meditation aspect. And they're like, well, what do you do for hobbies? I'm like, I don't.
Well, you guitar.
Well, yeah, but I don't really shut down to just be like, because even then it's like, oh, this would sound good with.
Right. You're
like,
associating it with. Sure.
Right. There's always that, like, oh, this goes to that. This goes to that. And I almost think as DJs, we never stop to say, because music is so encompassing. And I think the majority of us love music so much that even when we're not in this realm, when we're not talking about it, it's still there. It's always there. How do you get out of that? How do you shut, like, most DJs that I know would do yoga and hear the first song and go, this would sound awesome with 07. This would be a great mix.
Let me stretch over this way and Shazam what they have in that.
Yeah.
I've told the story before, and it's almost laughable whenever I tell people this, but as few people have tried it out for themselves and said, dude, you're right. I go into the shop, which I've had established now for about 4 years now. On the car, and I'll put yacht rock on.
Yep.
And it's
Yacht rock.
It and I can't get angry with it. This is stuff I don't normally play at events. It's stuff I like. It's stuff that calms me down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw any wrenches to Christopher Cross. Nope.
Yeah. I'm not throwing a wrench to the windshield while listening to Ambrosia or
10cc and this and that. Yeah.
Right. Well,
100%.
Dreadlock Holiday, maybe. I might throw a wrench for that song.
Yeah. I could see that.
But
I can see that.
It happens. And I really dislike the WKRP in Cincinnati song they play on the Yacht Rock radio station. And I have a really strong dislike for Yamo Be There.
Yeah, no, that's not on your. Yeah, no, you got to make. I'll be honest with you, Brian. My history with you, I found that you and Michael McDonald are probably not ever going to buy a commune together.
Oh no, I like Michael McDonald.
I don't like him as much as you say. I'm just.
I like
Is it the James Ingram side? Okay.
I
could
like
be the James Ingram side.
I like.
But
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's
what was that? Cool Runnings? I think he's against Cool Runnings. Maybe he hates Billy Crystal too. I don't even know.
Was he in that? It was John Candy.
Cool Runnings?
Yeah, it was John
He's been a journey. Yeah.
Wasn't that the one where they had the cops?
The bobsled team.
No, that was Running Scared.
Running Scared. That was Billy
Cool
Crystal.
Runnings was with the bobsleds. Bobsled team.
I never saw that one. That's
You're thinking of Running Scared. But and that had Sweet Freedom in it. With
that's it. Love that track. Yeah. No.
At any rate, we're off topic here, but that's
no. But we don't as DJs ever stop. You know what I think it comes down to as a way to kind of tie this all together. It's not so much about the physical labor. It's not so much about the work or even the mental aspect. It's about sometimes shutting off maybe the music a little bit and maybe stepping away, because as DJs, it's all encompassing. Like 24/7 is your schedule. Even though you might say, my company's open 9 to 5. No, it's not. Because tonight at 10 o'clock, when you get back from dinner with your family, you have to put that playlist together for your wedding on Sunday.
Yeah.
Or you have to figure out what this is, or you have to figure out what that is. And
personally, I kind of think it's a matter of identifying. For me, quite frankly, and I don't know how to say it more blunt than this. There are a lot of things that I do that I don't want to do. Okay. I don't want to always plan somebody's wedding. All right.
Right.
I don't want to always have to load this equipment. I don't always have to have a rigid time schedule where I have to be at a certain place at a certain time. Those are things that, to me, cause stress. They just do. And sometimes when I have people relying on me for things that I have to do, or I have to take them somewhere, sometimes that's stressful. Now that doesn't mean my family should stop calling me and asking me for things. That's not what that means.
After this video, they might.
No, they won't. It's a matter of, how about not everybody ask for something in the same week?
Yeah.
How about that? How about
Pace it out a little bit?
Yeah. How about that? Because otherwise
we say yes to the deadlines, we get paid. That's kind of how it works.
So you got to find your stress point. For whatever. For me, music is not my stress point.
No.
Okay, fine. The Moby Top 200 is, but nothing.
But that's you don't. And you've never been on, nor do you have a channel. You've been on to support me and John and everyone that's been on there. But that's the beauty of Twitch. I haven't been on Twitch in like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. I miss it so much. And it's not a thing. It's me going out and just playing music behind me.
Right.
But I miss that. But yet, while I've missed Twitch, I've done stuff in Detroit, LA, weddings, this. But it's something different. To me, Twitch is a getaway, but it's still music because it's still that whole who are you and what do you do thing.
I mean, that's not having a negative effect on you, I don't believe. I think it's having
No, I don't think so either. But I think the yoga thing, and I think the meditation, and I think that even if you only take 20 minutes a day, just get up in the morning and do something, stretch, do something. We're all, like you say, Brian, let's be blunt. We're all getting older. Health issues are a concern. We've had many a good brethren of ours not make it through. And it's tragic and sad.
It's preventing health issues.
I think it is. And I think it's a great time to look at the big picture and say, if there are gigs, do them. But do them with the understanding that you need to come out of this in good shape. You need to come out of this.
Rearview mirror is my intervention, by the way.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean,
and you know what? It's a constant. Brian, and I apologize, but it's a constant of, I feel like I'm competing with an invisible DJ at times.
I understand where you're coming from, but
you know what I mean?
Want you to know that you are actually fantastic at what you do.
And I appreciate that. And I believe that.
I think if you spent half the energy that you spent looking in the rearview mirror, just relaxing a little bit and getting more into what you were already doing, I think you'd be better off. I honestly do.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. So effective immediately. I've now switched to drinking kombucha. Right here, I'm doing something very holistic. And I'm going to start probably smoking weed or something. I mean,
John.
Geez, that's right. It's John's network. I mean, I'm drinking water and I'm not doing anything else.
No. I was talking to our John. John, when you're not DJing and doing the family thing, do you have a hobby? Do you have a thing you like to do that's
He whittles.
It's actually always been somewhat connected. My hobby is electronics.
Okay.
I did home theater install. I've always been somehow connected to music or its devices.
Sure.
Owning a house, you find things to do. There's something that you got to paint, something you got to fix. There's a never-ending list there, and if the music side gets too much, you can walk away briefly.
Open the toolbox and go for it.
Yep.
What I like
take a day and just go to the beach and sit on a towel with a good book and like a fifth of vodka or something.
I can't do that. It just feels like wasting time.
I thought you said I can't.
You know what?
It's like, you know what? Did you just say that?
You know what? I think I could do it if somebody else wasn't strong arming me to do it.
Oh, I'd love to see you sitting on the beach with a book, Brian. Come on.
What I mean?
It'd be a Chilton's manual, maybe.
If it was my idea, and I have a beach, like I live closer to the beach.
Oh, you're right next to the water.
I got sand.
I know you do.
I could be there in 5 minutes.
I've seen it. Yeah. No, you could. I've seen it.
And I've sat on that beach probably about 4 times since I've lived here. No, more than that because I've gone with family. But by myself, just going down there by myself, I've sat on that beach probably 4 times. And I've lived in this neighborhood for about a part of 20 years. So
I'll tell you.
Maybe it's the landlocked people that think about the ocean. I'm 5 minutes from the Atlantic, and I can tell you 20 years.
When I lived on the beach in Lynn, I walked every day that I wasn't working. There was a 6-month period where I was between jobs, and every day I would walk from Lynn to Marblehead and back with Walkman on, listening to either Def Leppard or Gary Moore or something. again, always music, but boy, it felt great to just be out there, the wind and the smell. And you know what?
And,
we
but it
got
was
to
what
come
you
up with
wanted to
a
do.
side thing.
What I can't stand is when I get strong armed into something. It's like I'm in trouble, by the way, for Saturday, because my grandsons are having a joint birthday party on that date, and it's the week before their birthdays. So I just assumed it was going to be in the week of their birthdays, but it's this coming weekend. So I'm in trouble
week
because I'm
before?
gigging. Pardon?
So the grandkid's birthday is a week after, but they're upset you're working the week before?
Because they're having the party the week before.
Oh, why wouldn't they have it the week?
That's what I want to know.
Like, when's your birthday? March 12th. When do you want to have a party? March 5th. No.
Why?
12th.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
How old are your grandkids? Like 30, 35?
And they're in the 20s. No, it's well in no. So anyway, what they're having it on a beach.
Oh,
like
okay.
At their pavilion on a beach, and the whole idea was to go there, relax, chill out. Like I'm being asked to do this, and well, can you get someone else to do the job? No, let's get the money this month. I don't want to be strong armed into relaxing on a day where I could be making money. I want to do it when I'm ready to do it.
Right.
Yeah, that was my point. I run into the situation. My ex-wife was like that. She always wanted to go on these vacations to Door County, Wisconsin, which I think is what they refer to in Married with Children as Wanker County. I think it's the same place.
Oh, nice.
But it's like the Hamptons or something, for people from Chicago. They all go there.
But just not known as the Hamptons.
But there's nothing there. There's nothing there. But she loved to go there. I don't know why. I'm a city guy,
Right. She wanted to get away. It's like beaches. Maybe she read the book Beaches or saw the movie with Bette Midler or something.
I don't know. It's little stupid shops and no internet. I don't want to go there.
I think the bottom line
relax.
Yeah, exactly. I think the bottom line is we don't take care of ourselves the way we should. We go to shows all the time. We talk to people that are like just not feeling it. They're not healthy. They're not getting it. They're not, they're not going through the motions. And I'm not going to play the card of like, hey, let's all get in shape. But I will say this. There is no future if you're not in it.
I was talking to Blanca yesterday, as a matter of fact. Yesterday.
Right.
Might have been today. Might have brought this up today, actually. We were just getting home. And we were walking to the house, and I was talking about, the situation on Saturday. But I said to her, what's crazy about that? Yeah, I'm getting older, but look at us. We're doing all right. I mean, for her age, for my age, we look like we belong here still.
Right.
We don't look our age. We critique people our age that we know. Oh, wow, look at them. They're getting older. Yeah, but that's what a lot of people look like when they're our age. We just don't look that way. So
but we don't feel that way either, Brian.
We're gifted somehow.
Right, because you know who the new Doja Cat track is, and you're on top of BTS, and you can have a conversation. Like I talked to two people last night at the wedding, 16 and 18, and we were chit-chatting about new tracks, and I never got lost in the conversation. I was like, well, what about this track? Have you heard like P. Pablo Freak Leak? No. Oh, check it out. You love Sweetie? Check this out. Sure. Oh my God, I can't believe, oh, wait a second, that's sample? I'm like, yeah, this is it's a relevance. And that's the magic of being a good DJ. Actually, just being a DJ, but it's better as you're good because you remember the past.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about my career that I've always loved. Even as I get older in it, I'm not aging out because the new stuff is taking the old stuff and bringing it forward so I can be the guy that drops PD Pablo and everyone goes, whoa, what's this? It's like, it's the original. It's so obvious. But
it came out 22 years ago. Like,
right. And I've got 16-year-olds getting excited because they weren't alive.
Yeah.
Like that's the joy in our jobs.
We are in a unique position.
We're super unique.
Like we had said earlier in the broadcast. I mean, or I had said perhaps, or we agreed that we can stay relevant for the rest of our lives.
We can.
Incredibly relevant.
And when we retire,
job. This isn't like a modeling job. We're
Yeah.
not in a boy band, you know.
We could be. It would look weird, but it would
be weird. The Backstreet Men.
Backstreet Men.
Yeah. No, it would be the Southside Avenue at this point. It wouldn't even be the Backstreet. It'd be like the Southside Ave. Trust me.
The Alley Men.
Yeah.
Seniors Building Lounge Men.
Yeah. AARP presents.
The Cul-de-sac Men, perhaps, would be
Brought to you by Metamucil.
That would be Jay's band.
Yeah.
I believe Jay lives on a cul-de-sac.
Do you have tennis balls on your walker? Because our DJ does.
We can stay relevant for a very, very long time.
And it's joyous.
Our brains allow us to do it.
Yeah, they do. And when we... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the age doesn't have a lot to do with it as long as you can keep up.
Right.
And
pay attention to your health and watch the signs and stay on top of that.
We're a very rare breed. When we retire, what it actually will mean is we don't play out anymore because we're DJs and you can't retire from who you are.
Right.
You retire from what you do. But what I do is who I am.
Yeah.
I don't differentiate between I'm a DJ and I play gigs. I'm a DJ and I love the fact that I can play any gig anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
Like I'm so proud this week to be playing a quinceañera on Friday and a wedding on Saturday. I take so much pride in telling people and like, what's going on this week? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a bunch of stuff, Pioneer, and I got a quinceañera Friday. I'm doing a wedding Saturday. You do quinceañeras? I'm like, yeah. Seriously? I'm like, yeah.
I can't say it.
Party for a 16-year-old girl. I'm like, yep, that's me. Because when you think that, this is what you think. Yeah. Who should be
do that? He can do everything, right? He's invincible.
But that's the joy of it.
Like, double is the guy you want.
I mean, most career points, like if I was a plumber, no one's going to question if I can unclog their sink or put in a toilet. But as a DJ, you get to ride that razor's edge of like, well, my 21-year-old daughter's having a birthday party. I'm getting a 21-year-old DJ. Great. So you won't like anything they play. Your mother won't like anything they play.
Yep. You don't hear
Your
any
friends and family you've invited will be offended, but have a good time.
There should be a name for us journeyman. I don't know. Perhaps just
but we've had this talk, Brian, and if he's watching, and I hope he is, I'll give Drax all the credit. This is a career where you don't get licensed. There's no standard.
Well,
but yet as you age into it, you have the ability to grow with it. And so as they get older, you can do not only one girl's quinceañera, then her wedding. You can also do her daughter's quinceañera and then her wedding. That's a rare thing. The only thing I can think of is probably doctors, because they can deliver each baby for each generation. Well, guess what? We can make the party for each generation as they go forward, just as well.
Just use your time wisely between parties.
Other than that, I say maybe Ativan, Klonopin, or Metamucil.
Yeah, don't pay attention.
You'll be fine.
Rest when you can. Know when to say when, folks. Stop chasing your tail or chasing anyone else. Stop looking in your rearview mirror like Jay does.
But be a gig pig. Take everything they throw at you.
Go to the forest, stare at trees.
Yeah, stare at trees.
Well, we went about 25 minutes longer than Howie would have wanted to go.
And if Howie was here, it would have just been him going. Sorry you didn't make it, Howie. We obviously hope you'll be back tomorrow because you have to help us with our show.
Well, if you can't, that's okay, because guess what?
See, Lori's in the room. Let her produce it tomorrow night.
Well, we did fine. And if Howie needs some downtime, that's okay.
Let him rest.
You know what? You got to listen to your body.
See? Good call, Brian.
So that's okay. Well, if Howie can't do it, we're here. We can manage it. And look,
we got you till you're back.
Taking time off. So for various reasons. And
it's for the week. No, I'm not. I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Your final thoughts, John?
No, all good. I think we brought it around pretty nice back to tying it up. Listen to your body. Take as many gigs as you can, but don't work yourself into the ground. Leave something leave some brain cells for you to enjoy yourself every once in a while.
Jay, stop looking in the rearview mirror.
Keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter.
We got to go. See you guys actually tomorrow, but for how we show you.
Oh, with these dates, we'll see on Arbor Day
Yeah, well, Arbor Day or
Flag Day,
Halloween, perhaps.
Halloween, everybody.
I was wondering that if every day is Halloween for some people, like my neighbors, for instance, who are very gothy. Every day is Halloween. Like songs suggest.
Ministry, great. Yeah, just saw them.
Why would you dress the exact same way on Halloween? Right. Like
I'd probably wear something normal.
Like jeans and a button up.
Great. I'm like, okay, then why don't you dress like somebody from the suburbs today? That would be Halloween.
Wear something totally normal because that would be shocking.
Yeah. Wear a suit, wear something other than black, maybe. I don't know. Try.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it, guys. We'll see you next time.